So Team USA lost again. They lost again in the Olympics. 0-2 for the women. 0-2 for the men. They both lost. They both lost again. That's not great. It's not great at all. And it's not the greatest look for USA, who clearly just thought they were going to come in and walk the Olympics. And that's very clear. I'm pretty sure they thought they were going to walk it like last time. But this team isn't even on the stratosphere. It's not even on the stratosphere of the old Team USA teams. I do apologize if I end up wiping off the sweat with a towel. Currently in Alicante, it's like 30 degrees Celsius outside, no air conditioning. And I have to turn off the fan to record. It's grand normally, but once the fan's off, it's not great. It's not great. Hence why you'll be seeing me probably wearing this Sharif Abdur-Rahim jersey and maybe another basketball jersey, recording videos for the rest of the week. Can't even wear sleeves right now. But this team, people are like, oh, they won the last Olympics. They won the last Olympics with Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Alicia Gray, and Dawson. These are 3 All-Stars, and Dawson could have been an All-Star this year. With the way Dawson's playing for the Mystics, she could have been an All-Star this year. No doubt about that. She could have been an All-Star. So that's what the team they had last time. And they didn't even win every game with these guys last time. Like with this team, an All-Star studded team, this is like they didn't win every game. But today, they lost. And it's not only like they've lost to 2 good teams, they've lost to what are expected to be the 2 worst teams in the entire tournament. You've lost to Germany and Azerbaijan. Germany and Azerbaijan. They lost to Azerbaijan. We beat Azerbaijan. In the last decade, we have beaten Azerbaijan. The Irish team have beaten, I'm almost certain in the women's. Might have been close to a decade ago. We have beaten Azerbaijan. Like, we have never had a WNBA player. Susan Moran didn't make a roster. She got drafted, didn't make a roster. Like, we have beaten Azerbaijan. The Germany situation, Germany were just way better than Team USA. And that's the problem is that this was a team. Hamby's selection was based on her being in the WNBA. Her not getting selected for the main team. People being like, oh, she's balling out this season. There is absolutely no reason why Lexi Hull shouldn't have been picked. Lexi Hull was the best player last summer. Or not named Cameron Brink, who obviously played in the World Championships. So, of the WNBA players that played last summer, Lexi Hull was the best. I get bringing Ryan Howard, but Ryan Howard has been injured the last, She played 1 game before the Olympic break. She played 1 game. 1 game. And then played in the All-Star game. In fairness, she's the only reason they didn't lose to the kids. And look, I don't even mind the Sierra Burdick or Hailey Van Lith. Hailey Van Lith is a thing because if her shots aren't falling, her shots aren't falling. That's the problem with Van Lith. And it's always the problem with Van Lith. Like, she tries on defense. She's tiny. She's tiny. And 3-on-3, you need some more size. And like, look, Team USA haven't won a game in 3-on-3. That includes the men, by the way. The men are 0-2 as well. Team USA are 0-4 in 3-on-3. They're 0-4. Whatever about the men. The men's star man is Jimmer. They have Brent Barry's kid that didn't make the NBA. And they got a guy who played in England. And a guy who played, in fairness, like baller, but he played D2. Like, again, could drop 50 on me, but that's not saying much. But the women's team, it was just so poorly constructed. Like, this team does not make sense. First of all, if you're gonna bring Hailey Van Lith, and that's where the problem is they announced their teams way too early. That's the issue with USA basketball. They announced their teams way too early. Once Cameron Brink went down, the team should have had Burdick, another 6'3" player, Lexi Hull and Ryan Howard, and switch everything. Switch everything, use your speed, because you can get hunted way too easily. Other teams are going to be other teams have more experience than you. When they've got more experience than you, the problem is some of your defense rotations aren't going to be there. If your shots aren't falling, you're going to lose. And that's the problem with this team so far, is they've played 2 games and their shots just aren't falling. Like, look, again, Van Lit's been fine. The problem is that you can just constantly get her into bad situations. And to end the game today, they did that. So Team USA were better defensively than yesterday, I guess. They still just aren't hitting shots. And that's the problem, is that they are supposed to be the gold standard. But this is the team that they showed up with. And obviously, again, this is the team they had the last time. I'm guessing the ranking system wasn't as big a deal the last time because it was COVID year. And look, if Team USA showed up with... I'm just trying to think of their WNBA players. If the rules stated that they could bring 4 players in the top 50, and they showed up with Lexi Hall, Kelsey Mitchell, maybe not even Kelsey Mitchell, if they showed up with Lexi Hall, Katie Lou, who was supposed to be on this team, by the way, instead of Gray, maybe? I think it was instead of Alicia Gray, maybe it was instead of Dolson. Either way, justice for Katie Lou. Heck, bringing Katie Lou over Hamby might have been a better idea, but the problem is, again, you just pick your teams too early. You pick your teams way too early. And that means that you don't get the chance to plan around because you've already announced Lexi Hall on the team. It's not Lexi Hall, Hailey Van Lith on the team. And I know seems like, it's picking on Hailey Van Lith. It's just, and she's been playing well. It's just that when you are 5'6", or whatever height she is, in a 3-on-3 game where it's very, very easy to get a mismatch on you, and you're giving up a bucket every single time, and fouls matter because once you get to 7 fouls in a game, you're giving up 2 free throws in every possession, which means you can't just foul if you're caught in a mismatch inside, because once you start giving up 2 free throws, they're like giving up a 3-pointer in every foul. So it is just a tough one, and I think that is a big issue. Thankfully, in the men, we saw what they did with the men. They announced Kawhi Leonard. They cut Kawhi Leonard. Grant Hill's come out. They cut Kawhi Leonard. After training camp, they legitimately were like, no, we're cutting Kawhi. They announced him, they cut him. And that's the problem, is the team they should have had 2 bigs. As they're 2 non-WNBA players, because there's none of the top 10 are WNBA players, they should have brought in, not even 2 bigs, just 2 tall wings. And in those last 2 spots, based on 3-on-3, one of them should have been Lexi Hull. The other one, I understand bringing Ryan Howard, by the way. I fully understand bringing Ryan Howard. Look, she is the most talented player in the eligible pool. She's the most talented player, including Kelsey Mitchell, including all these other players. And even Cameron Brink. People are like, they need Brink. Brink doesn't solve the problems with this team. Because Hamby's, 1 inch smaller than Brink? I know she's not as much of a rim protector, but Hamby's much better than Brink in 5-on-5. It just, the fact is that these teams know exactly what the weak point of Team USA is. And on the defensive end, it is Hailey Van Lith. As great as Hailey Van Lith has been on offense, she is a good 3-on-3 player. They're playing against the best teams in the world who are able to scout them. And it has been, unfortunately, they have lost 2 games to 2 of the weaker teams. So they might go and lose it all. Not going to lie.